busting my balls, Billy, okay?
I can already tell that I don't like you.
Why the fuck are you busting my balls?
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
It might be your first ball job.
Yeah, of course.
How long did it take for the guy to come?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Busted Balls. I'm your host, Eric Pennell. OW20 is my squirt, and I do man shit. And this is a 100% wide-own podcast. How's everybody doing out there, man, huh? How you doing? You putting titty nipples in your mouth? You grabbing your girl's ass? You getting money in your pocket? Your old lady staying off your back, huh? Let's get right into it, man. Let's talk Donald Trump election, huh? I know, look, man, I get it. Some don't want to hear it. Some want to hear it. Look, it's a big thing, man. Donald Trump is now the 47th president come January. And who knew? Who knew? You know, if you were going back even, 3.5, 4 years ago, when this guy was getting out of office, you talk about the January 6th stuff, he's getting out of office, they're talking about the steal, who knew that this guy would get reelected in such a landslide and such a win? I mean, this guy crushed it. Whether you like hearing that or not, he whipped her ass, okay? First of all, let's talk about Kamala for a second. She's unlikable, all right? She's unlikable. All right, that's why she lost. She's fake. She's phony. I get it. She's a professional. I get it. She's what people want, and some people want in politicians. They want that. I get it. Some people want their politicians to be like a fake and phony. Others, they smell right through it and they go, this bitch is phony, which she is, man. First of all, that laugh, I mean, it's unlikable. I don't know. Dude, she turned down Joe Rogan. How dumb was that to turn down Joe Rogan? I mean, it's only the biggest podcast in the United States. It's the biggest podcast in the world. I'm pretty sure Rogan is the biggest podcast in 94 countries. I don't know. That's what I hear. Look, I ain't going to the library to double check it. That's what I heard. And they turned that down. And again, they go, well, she would have done it if he would have flown to Washington, D.C., although she was in Texas around that time. She would have done it if they would have kept it under an hour. She wanted to do less than an hour podcast with Rogan. She also wanted to edit it. She wanted to edit that podcast. Look, when Trump went to see Rogan, man, they rolled for 3 hours, man. It didn't seem like they were too limited, whether old boy didn't want to talk about it or not. But at least he controlled the situation. She was scared. She was running from it. And she made a big mistake. Dude, all she had to do, that race was hers to lose. Like, all Kamala Harris had to do was just be likable, which is impossible for her because she's not likable. Let the country know that, like, hey, dog, I'm good. I'm a pro. I'm educated. I got this. I'm a Democrat. I'm a woman. I'm a person of color. All she had to do was run that game and let people know when they do the smell test on her where they go, yeah, she does got it. And she still couldn't get that done. Okay, that's how bad she was. She still couldn't get that. And she's cringy. Like, how many cringy, when she does the accent. I get it, dog. I do accents too. But I ain't trying to run for the president of the United States, okay? And I know people go, well, it just shows you how misogynist the world is. All these women on the internet. Have you seen all the women on the internet that are shaving their head? It's like, dude, you're shaving your head wearing blue bracelets. It's like, how crazy are you? All right, where they're like, we're not having sex with men for 4 years. Okay, there you go. First of all the ladies, look, man, I get it. I'm a 2, okay? Out of a 10, I'm a 2, okay? I'm a 49-year-old man. Even when I wasn't 49, I was like a 4, okay? Because look, I don't know, all these women on the internet that are like, I'm a 10, I'm an 8. First of all, just to let people know, we need to recalibrate people's 1 to 10 grade on themselves. Because a supermodel, the most beautiful women in the world, beautiful men in the world, those are 10s. Okay, a supermodel's a 10. So when you see some drunk girl on the streets in Madison, Wisconsin, and some guy on the internet's going, out of a 1 to 10, what are you? And she says a 7.5 to 8, you're not, okay? You're a 4, maybe, okay? You take we'll power spray off the makeup and see what you look like in the morning, and you're most likely a 3, all right? But yeah, we got women on the internet that are a 2 and a 3, shaving their head and wearing bracelets saying they're not going to, have sex with men for 4 years. Look, the world ain't going to miss it, honey, okay? First of all, you're a little bit on the young side, a little bit on the old side. You don't got years to waste. So I don't know if I'd be shaving my head and telling men I'm not having sex with them for 4 years. It might not be the smartest move for you, but whatever. You voted for her, so clearly you're not making, wise decisions. And again, man, I voted for Trump. I don't, it is what it is. Give me better options. Give me better options. And don't give me options that you go, you should have voted for him. You should have voted for her. Those are terrible options. Who are we talking? Nikki Haley? She's terrible. Okay? Look, first of all, the Democrats messed up, man. They knew Biden was already dementiaed out. Everybody knew it. How do I know it? And how does everybody else know it? But they didn't know it. They're lying to you. And you're stupid if you believe that. That's another thing. If you believe that they were saying that Biden was fine, and then the day that they decided he wasn't fine, and then you started believing that, you're a gullible person, okay? They made a mistake. They should have pulled Biden aside way early before when they could do primaries. They should have pulled him aside and go, look, dog, we're sitting you down, and you're not running, okay, at all. And then with her, Kamala, they should have said, you're sitting down too, okay? You're not going to beat this guy at all. All right, you're unpopular. It sucks to say. Plus, you know what? They could have said, look, we're going to hook you up. We got all the friends in the world that's going to give you jobs and book deals, and you're going to be queen for the rest of your life outside of politics. But you're not going to be the nominee. And then they would have sat them down, had them a big boy, big girl conversation, and then they would have just ran a primary, and they could have got people like Gavin Newsom, the guy out of that Kamala should have had as a vice president, Shapiro or something like that. You know, a capable Democrat adults that could have beat Trump, really could have beat him. But they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that. I don't know why. I think, from what you hear, this, hear that. Again, I'm not going to the library double checking it. But I think they could have used his donation money on her because she's with the same cabinet or something like that. Possibly. I heard that. That's why. Although the lady had $1 billion. That lady in like 3.5 months spent $1 billion. I think 37 million. I might be wrong. I heard 31 million, 1 billion, 31 million, 1 billion, 37 million, and she's negative 20 million in the account. That's how much money they spent, and she still didn't win it. That shows you right there that it's almost like a football team or a baseball team where you throw as much money at it as you can, and you still ain't winning a championship. And that's what they did. And they messed up. They should have had primaries where Democrats could have voted on the best ones that could beat this guy. And they didn't do that. And now look what happened. Okay. You ran a terrible campaign, and she's very unlikable, and old boy's in there. Dude, they're complaining about like Trump's like picks for, all his cabinet picks that he's thrown out so far. Dude, you got admirals that are in girl dresses and stuff like that are trans. And it's like, look, the rest of the world had to put up with that, and you can't put up with that. Get out of here, dog. Get out of here, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to hear it. You got trans people at the White House showing their top. Remember when they did that? Come on, dog. Look, man, you put up with their stuff. Now you're going to have to put up with their stuff. What's good for the goose? And these ladies on the internet, stop crying. That's embarrassing. When you're an adult, I get it. They're young adults and some old adults. I mean, when you see like a 40-year-old woman crying on the internet because their presidential candidate that they voted for didn't get in there, and you're crying, you got kids and stuff, and you're up there crying, making a fool of yourself, you're embarrassing. Please stop that. Maybe you shouldn't participate in like this type of adult, things, because you can't handle it. When you're crying over this, you can't handle it. And then what? Over what? Abortion rights? Dude, go. What state are you in that you don't have abortion rights? What state? Tell me what state you're in and you can't go get an abortion. They're taking away women's rights. And then they throw in like people of color or something. I'm like, what are you even talking about? People of color? What? Why does it affect them specifically? I don't understand why they're saying that. What state are you in that if you want an abortion, you can't get an abortion? Okay? And also, what state can't you go to? Like, okay, I get it. If your state goes, yeah, you can only have abortions up to 4 months. I don't even know if that's fact, but I'm sure there's some states like Arkansas or somebody like that. I don't know their abortion rights down there, where they say that you can't hop on over to anywhere else. This is America. You can go anywhere else and say, hey, I need a procedure. It's all lies. It's all propaganda. I get it. Where they're saying they're taking away women's rights. You know, the problem is with people that are saying like lies like that and putting propaganda out like that. Dude, you can go anywhere and get an abortion, okay? And again, you're saying people are voting against your rights? Dude, listen, most people in 2024, they have no problem with abortion. Most people, I'm saying percentage-wise here. Can you do percentage-wise here before you start shaking your head and saying no on the podcast as you're listening to it in the car at work? Most people have no problem with abortion in 2024. I get it. There's religious people out there that go no. Okay, but I'm talking like most people have no problem with abortion. Up to a certain point. You know, I bet you can get most people, if they would just all come to the table and go, look, I got no problem with 4 months, maybe 4.5 months. And then they go, well, I want 5.5 months. Then you can meet in the middle, maybe at 5 months. These people don't want to meet in the middle. What they want to do is most people go, I'm good for 4, maybe 5 months for abortions in most states. They go, no, we want it all the way up to birth. And then most people that are against that type of thinking, they go, no, I'm not going to do it all the way up against birth. And then these people go, you're against abortion. You're trying to take away women's rights. No, you guys are crazy. Can we meet in the middle? Can we meet in the middle on certain things? It's like trans rights. It's exactly like trans rights, where most people in 2024, most of them have no problem with trans people. Trans adults, most people don't. Yeah, there are people out there that are going to shake their head and go, hey, I don't know, that's a little strange. You know, to them, and that's their rights to have that thought. They can have that's a little strange. Can they not have that's a little strange, that's a little weird? Can we not even have that, or you can't even have that thought? Are you trying to take that thought away from people, or can their free will to have that thought, because it's their right to have that thought. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but they can have that right. Most people in 2024 have no problem with trans people at all. They have no problem with it. But can they come to the table and go, yeah, that's fine. Most people are cool with trans people. No, they want to go, well, we want trans kids up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, and then these people go, leave the kids alone. Then these people go, you're against trans rights. You don't like trans people. You're transphobic. No, we just want to meet in the middle. Can we at least leave it to adults? I'll go up to age 17. Can you leave it up to age 17? And then they could start thinking about doing the whole trans thing and whatever. Leave the children alone, okay? We're not putting them on puberty block. They don't want to hear that, though. They don't want to come. These people for like abortion rights and trans rights, they don't want to come to the table and meet in the middle, okay? They don't want to meet in the middle. And I mean meet in the middle where these people on this side, it's not really a win, but it's a win. And then these people on this side are thinking it's not really a win, but it's a win, okay? We can agree to disagree and move on about our lives and not call each other Nazis and fascists and communists. But no, they don't want to do that, okay? I didn't make the rules. That's just it, calling it from a distance. And that's what it is. And guess what? Stop crying on the internet and Trump won. All right? Kick rocks, beat it. That's a fact, okay? The guy ran a hard campaign, man. He outworked her. I mean, Trump, dude, the last week of that presidency, he just outworked her, dude. They could not get ahead of Trump. They couldn't get ahead of it. Meaning, like, they couldn't get ahead of the story. Anything that they did, Trump was already doing something over it. They moved too slow. They moved way too slow. I mean, you know, Trump was going on, you know, Theo Von. Trump was going on a couple other podcasts I can't think of off the top of my head. He did Rogan. You know, as soon as he would do Theo Von, then Vance would do Theo Von. He did Rogan, then Vance would do Rogan. Then I'll tell you what, the best thing, and it tells you a lot about how they were putting their finger in the air and seeing like, hey, I don't like the direction that this is going, and people have to stand up. I tell you what, Elon Musk, back in Trump, got him over the finish line. Joe Rogan at the last minute got him over the finish line by endorsing him. Tulsi Gabbard, whether people know that lady has a little bit of power and people like her, got him over the finish line. And RFK, 100% got him over the finish line. I mean, these are people that got this guy over the finish line. Besides, you know, Trump's normal fans like, you know, guys like Tucker Carlson. But RFK, Rogan, and Elon got him over the finish line, 100%, man. And, you know, it says a lot about those guys. You know, and again, Trump has to make sure that he stays good on his promises. Excuse me, that he stays good on his promises, and does his best to get it done. And again, I get it. They're going to cry about it. Your guy won last time. Wink, wink. And their guy won this time. So stop crying about it on the internet and get over it, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is what it is. Okay. First of all, another thing is, look, the Democrats had their chance to show how magical and great they were. They didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. You see the inflation. And then they try to sell you on, well, this is the highest hourly wages have been ever. They got the highest hourly. Duh. Could you imagine if the wages are up? There's lots of people that are making $21 to $25 an hour starting out like warehouse jobs here in Chicagoland in the Midwest. But could you imagine? They had to do that. Inflation's so high. Could you imagine if they didn't bump up the hourly rates and inflation is this high? And although gas has came down in the last 4 weeks, wow, what a surprise. Right by election, gas prices come down. But we've been eating it for 3.5 years until election comes around and gas. I'm glad gas prices are down. All right, because everybody else, we're getting killed out here. It's killing us out here. Food prices are up. Gas prices are up. Everywhere you go, rent and mortgages are up. Interest rates are up. And I know they don't have nothing to do with it. I don't care. I really do believe they do have something to do with it. You wanted the jobs. You wanted to be the leaders. You're the ones that said the adults are here after Trump left office. And you had your chance, and you've done dick with it. Okay? That's just a fact. They gave you a chance to show us your magic. You didn't show us your magic. And then when you rolled this lady out there, and then they put her on the shows, and they ask, what would you do differently? And she goes, nothing. I would do nothing differently. You're a moron. Okay? Because that's your time to shine and say, look, I do this. Look, we did our best here, but now it's going to be me moving forward. I'm going to do this, 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 and this. You didn't do that, lady. Your ass got whipped. Go away. And now it's time for me to talk about NFL. All right, let's. Look, man, facts are facts, dude. And that's whether you like it or not. Those are the facts. And now I'm going to talk about NFL. I know it's a weird switch, but we're getting down to it, okay? Fantasy football drafts are they're coming to an end. The playoffs are coming. You better prepare for the playoffs. I don't want to talk fantasy too much, but you better look at your defenses and whatever week that you have playoffs, whether it's 14, 15, 16, 15, 16, 17, whatever your playoffs are. Look at the defenses. Look at the quarterback matchups. You know what I'm saying? Look for that thing. I guess you can't really do much on running backs and wide receivers, but sometimes on the quarterbacks and sometimes on the defenses, you can adjust those right now because there's defenses out there that might play some bums, okay? And I won't talk about that much. I do want to talk about how the Detroit Lions are the best team in football right now. Whether you like that or not, that's the truth. They have one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in the NFL right now. Their running backs are nasty. Their wide receivers are nasty. Jared Goff is playing, some of the best football. Honestly, dude, he's up there, man. He's one of the most valuable players in the league, whether people like that or not. He's playing very good football. They're the best team right now. Their defense is nasty. I get it. The Chiefs are probably the second best team. Although, dude, when you do the eye test on the Chiefs, I get it. They're champions and they're the Chiefs. They got Mahomes, they got Kelsey, they got a couple, they got Hopkins now and stuff. But when you do the eye test on them, I know they're undefeated. Although that field goal block was, good for them, but it was just pathetic when you watch, that Denver lineman. But dude, when you do the eye test on the Kansas City Chiefs, when you do the eye test on them, you just look at them and you go, they have an undefeated record. But when you talk about like power ranking, I really think the Chiefs are probably the third or fourth best team in the league. I'm talking currently. And I know they're undefeated, but dude, the Bills aren't punks. I really think this is the year that the Chiefs might catch it on the chin early. And the Steelers, I don't like the Steelers. I'm a Browns fan, but the Steelers actually with Russell Wilson, and good for Russell Wilson. I actually seen Russell Wilson at the end of that game. He's actually smiling and happy. And it almost looks like he's happy to play football again. And he's playing pretty good, man. But the Bills, the Steelers, the Eagles, the Commanders, I don't know, man. I think those teams, pick one or two, they're better than the Chiefs. Whether you like hearing that or not, the Chiefs, they just don't seem that powerful. I mean, I get it. They got players. They know how to get it done. They got a great coach. They got that smart quarterback that's very good. They got Kelsey. He's tough. Kareem Hunt, he stepped in right, and he's a barrel. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The playoffs are coming, though. I mean, we still got a lot of season left, a lot of injuries left. But yeah, fantasy's coming, man. You might want to start, building your bench up just in certain spots, just in case. And I'm talking like quarterback, defenses, maybe kicker. I don't know. I'm sure what you got is what you got, I do want to talk about how Aaron Rodgers is, I just don't think that experiment worked out. It doesn't look right. I know the Jets have players, but my God, it just doesn't look right. I don't know if it's coming off the injury. I don't know if he still got it or not. I don't know if he retires. If you talk about Aaron Rodgers retiring next year, he's not great right now. It doesn't look great. But when you look at like some of the top or the bottom 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, you think like, well, Aaron Rodgers is better than them, right? I mean, he's better than them, and if he's on the healthier side, dude, you could put Aaron Rodgers on a lot of teams. Or what Rodgers could do, he could probably sit out and wait for one of these great teams to have a quarterback go down, and he just comes in and you go like a Flacco type move where he just goes, look, I'll come to that great team and win a Super Bowl with, in week 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 when your quarterback goes down. I mean, he could pull that move, but he doesn't look that good. And that Jets team, they might be cursed. I don't know. They might be cursed. I'll tell you what, there's some coaches that need to get fired, and I don't know if they're all getting fired, but I think Miami's coach needs fired. I don't care. I don't care about like injuries, Tua, any of that stuff. I think the Bears coach needs to go. I think the Jets coach he's already gone. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars coach needs to go. I get it, Peterson, but it ain't fitting down there. I think New Orleans coach obviously I think they fired their coach, and Carolina. And again, I get it. I don't know if all these teams are going to get coaches fired. I tell you what, man, all these years I've been watching football, I tell you, and I get it. I understand the downside of doing this, but I'm a fan of giving these coaches like a 2-year contract. And if you ain't getting it popping after like a year and a half, you're gone. We're not giving you long contracts. If you can't show me your magic, it's almost like the presidency. If you can't show me your magic in just a couple years, you got to go, bud. We don't got time for this. We're not doing 5-year coaching things where we're holding on to you and we're wondering, are you going to get it started with these guys? Oh, I'm installing some kind of program here, and we're no. Okay, I get, another thing is, how they always go, there's not enough black coaches. There's not enough people of color coaches and stuff. By the way I'm thinking, you're going to burn through it and give women jobs, men jobs, African-American jobs, all kinds of people of color jobs. And guess what? If they ain't getting it done, they're gone too. Give them a year and a half and they got to move on. And before I get out of here, I want to talk about how John Gruden, good for the great John Gruden, he got a job at Barstool. And which is a great place for John Gruden. I'm so glad John Gruden's back. He was gone for a long time. And John Gruden is such an asset. And I just wish John Gruden be done with just being a coach. I'm sure he is maybe, but just be done with that idea, dude. John Gruden, in this market, you can make so much more money and also be the guy. I mean, look at Pat McAfee, man. He's the guy, and he ain't playing football. He played football, but he ain't playing football no more. And he's the guy. He's the influencer. He has a lot of ears on him. You're flexing your expertise.